If you're watching this video, there's probably really high chances that you've tried all kinds of different healing modalities, like many different techniques of healing. Maybe you've tried therapy and Reiki, hypnosis, tapping, shadow work, craniosacral. There's so many. Now, so if you're thinking, well, yes, I've done all of these different healing techniques, but I still feel stuck, this is going to be for you. If you're somewhere still feeling stuck despite doing all of these different things, because healing is about so much more than it's about what's underneath. So it's so much more than just the technique or the modality. And at what point are you actually healing, or are you just feeling like you're getting these highs of accomplishment by chasing the next modality? Or if you're a practitioner, chasing the next certification. I also just want to talk about the real truth as to why just because someone is trained in so many different healing modalities that it doesn't necessarily mean that they're embodying healing. It doesn't mean that they're embodying what those modalities point to. So let's get right into this, and I will share with you what I've learned through being a hypnotherapist, intuitive healer, working with hundreds of clients over the years, and also just healing through my own struggles with addiction, with trauma, obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm just going to share from my own observations, and you can take the information and do with it what you will. Sound good? So I had a wonderful client about 5 years ago, and it sticks out to me. And by the way, I'm absolutely not judging her or trashing her at all. This is just my observations. This is a very subtle trap to fall into, but this one stood out to me. She started healing a little bit. She did Reiki and hypnotherapy with me, and she started feeling loads better. And then the next thing you know, she was telling me, oh, I'm doing EMDR now. I'm doing breath work now. I'm reading this book. I'm learning how to heal with my pendulum now. I'm using plant medicine. I'm doing ketamine. I'm doing mushrooms. And you get the idea. So she had tried all of these different things, like the Reiki and hypnosis opened the door for her to really enjoy healing and feeling good about herself because she was devoting that time to herself. Yet every time she was telling me about these things that she was doing, she had this very intense energy of like, this is the new thing that she's doing, and it's going to solve everything for her once and for all. Like, this one is going to be it, right? But here's the thing about all of this, she would keep dipping back into these very painful, horrible cycles of depression. So it would be like she would go through these cycles and she would feel really, really high from learning all of these new things, but then she would get a bunch of hope and then she would be flying on top of the world and then dive back inevitably into a crash out, burnout type situation or the same patterns unearthing again and again. Like nothing actually healed despite all of those different things she had done. Then she would always book another session with me and have me help her pick all the pieces up. So there's nothing inherently wrong with any healing modality. There's nothing inherently wrong with any technique. Absolutely not. I do believe there's value in everything that was made to help people, whether that's Western medicine or Reiki or whatever. What I feel is dangerous about this constant overconsumption of techniques and modalities, though, is through that search, you sometimes lose yourself or you dig a ton of shallow holes and you don't actually get down to what the root of all this is. I once had a meditation teacher years ago, and he would always tell me, don't dig 1,000 shallow holes. And that's something that's always stuck with me. It shaped really how I started looking at things like this. What he told me is, you know, find one method of meditation and stick with that. Keep pouring your focus and energy and showing up for that one thing that really resonates with you day in and day out, because then you're going to get really, really good at that thing. You're actually going to dig deep. You're going to reach a level of mastery with that instead of just starting over brand new whenever you start a new technique or basically not getting anywhere. That's what was happening to my client. And I haven't spoken to her in a couple of years now. So I hope she's doing good and I hope that she's living her best life. So even though all of these different modalities have value, they can easily start getting piled on like armor, where there's this constant itch that just cannot get scratched. And you're just desperately circling back around the same damn thing and trying to fix what you thought you already fixed, that you already healed. And the pain in all of this is in all of that constant overconsumption because then you can never land. You can never feel settled enough to let the dust settle. It's a constant chase. One more session is going to do the trick. Another certification is going to do the trick. Another layer that you have to clear. But what if you didn't need another modality or another technique or another certification, but you needed to actually embody and integrate something that you do very, very thoroughly? That's important because if you aren't integrating and really going down deep to the root of things and really committing to embodying your healing and doing healing things very well and very thoroughly, and you just keep jumping around to all of these different techniques, then you're going to start identifying, if you haven't already, as somebody that is always forever healing, or someone who is always wounded, forever wounded. And that literally becomes a part of your identity. And then that's what you're going to get because that's what you're expecting on the deepest levels. Healing becomes your personality, even. And you lose sight of the richness of your life experience that is right here. The excellence is not in the tools that you use, it's in how deeply are you living and breathing what you already know. I guarantee you that you have so many things in you right now. The key is already in your hand. And if you committed to saying, you know what, I am just going to fully embody this one way of healing something for a while, I think you're going to notice, like, even if you just said, I'm going to dig really, really deep with hypnosis this month and next month, and you really committed to that, you would make so much deep progress. You would be in a completely different place 2 months from now. The techniques that you're using to heal are not your actual transformation. They are tools. Healing methods can be absolutely mind-blowingly powerful, but they aren't the end destination. When you chase one modality after another, you're mistaking all of that efforting that you put into it as healing. You think you put all this effort in and that equates to actual growth, but it really doesn't. Effort and growth are not the same thing. That becomes bypassing that is disguised as you making progress. You are running the story. Oh, I'm evolving, but actually, you're really avoiding the deeper truth. That truth is that if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, nothing is going to stick. Nothing is really going to truly get it. You could do breath work, energy healing, clearings, hypnosis, Reiki until you're blue in the face. And it's going to float on the surface. If your body is still just bracing for impact. The real way to actually have real transformation is you have to create true safety in your body and energy field. Only then can all of that wisdom of all of these methods and techniques actually be put together. That's when they're going to land and integrate. Do you see how that works? And you don't need a technique to create safety. You just have to do it. You just have to have presence. And your presence is always the most important thing. Like I always teach practitioners, it's not the modality you're using. The most important thing is the love and the presence that you bring and that you hold your clients in. But it's the same for you personally. It's not about the technique, it's about how much love and presence are you holding yourself in? Who are you without all those tools? What if you stripped away all of your tools and all of your techniques and all of your methods? Who would you be? Who the F actually are you? When there's no hypnotherapy or emotional release or Reiki or sound healing or whatever it is, who are you? What is left of you? That's where it's going to be. That's where the answer to true healing actually is. And not everyone actually wants real deep healing and transformation. But this is for people that actually do want that. What I was trying to help my client understand is that her soul is not a patchwork of modalities. She is so much more. And that she wasn't defined by all of these modalities or methods that she was learning, or how deeply she has excavated this pain in all these different fancy ways. Beneath all of that releasing and clearing and processing, what is actually unshakable in you is your wholeness. And that you already have, my friend. You already are whole. You always have been. And it's just patiently waiting for you to actually see that and to remember that. But you never did have to earn it. You don't have to earn it. After I've worked with hundreds of clients, I've learned that true healing really is not about more techniques, that it's about peeling the layers and back again and again to reveal what was actually never even broken inside of you. So if you feel like you're always hustling or efforting constantly, for a while, just drop everything and give yourself some space. Just sit with yourself. And it might be uncomfortable if you have been distracting yourself with all these things. But really be willing to feel all of it. Feel your actual experience. Feel the actual energy and what your intuition is showing you. People come to my office or do sessions with me online. And sometimes I don't use any techniques. Sometimes it's literally just love and presence and safety that needs to be rooted in that person. And I don't have an agenda. So usually once somebody gives themselves enough space to actually feel that, then they can really begin to change. Because then they have realized that what they were looking for in all of those modalities and techniques was already within them all along. They just had to remember it. They just had to see it in that way. So I hope that helps today. And if you're done with the hustle and bustle of chasing the next big thing or that is going to fix everything or, just all of these different, quote, amazing techniques. And you're realizing that, yeah, it's time for some real living, breathing integration, then book a session with me on my website, and I'll put that in the description. And we will integrate. You don't have to live like this anymore. And you also don't have to do it alone. There's so much more peace once you realize that the common denominator is you, is your wholeness. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want, like the video if you want, share with a friend who you see this pattern playing out with, and comment down below. Let me know, what have your experiences been? Is this something you're healing right now, or is it something you're just becoming aware of, or is it something you've already healed and you've already realized? So let's start a conversation. And if you've stayed with me this far, truly you are amazing, and you have what it takes to really be real with yourself and come home to you. So lots of love, and I'll see you in the next one. Talk soon. Bye.